Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
That's what
Hare
the extension. It's
Hare
the
Ram,
healing
Hare
my
Ram,
each
Ram
to have it.
Hare
There's
Krishna,
sort
Hare
of
Krishna, Krishna
benefits.
Krishna,
I'm
Hare
gonna get to
Hare
it right now.
Ram,
It's a credit
Hare
card,
Ram,
so
Ram
I'll talk to my bank.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare
I'm
Ram,
already. I have like CQ and I need to switch
Hare
anyway, so
Krishna,
I'll
Hare
open up the
Krishna,
same
Krishna
account
Krishna,
probably and switch it
Hare
all over.
Ram, Hare Ram,
But I'll
Ram
maintain the
Ram.
CQ account because it's the oldest account I
Hare
have.
Krishna,
Yeah,
Hare Krishna,
because
Krishna
normally
Krishna,
like
Hare Ram, Hare
check over to
Ram,
us.
Ram.
The good that is fixed.
Hare Krishna, Hare
And this
Krishna,
is
Krishna
that.
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
People I
Hare
that's
Krishna,
about it.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Just
Krishna, Hare
like
Ram,
it's
Hare
in
Ram,
this
Ram Ram.
you can
Hare Krishna,
be
Hare Krishna,
see.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Prabhupada, Namacharya.
Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Yashamati from Chicago. Once again, welcoming all of you to the mid-morning japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session, and please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Let us move to our next part, to the session which is Sri Caitanya Bhagavatam. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
हरे कृष्ण यशोदा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Priti Mata ji, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Krishna Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirti Dasi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Kirti Das, Andre Devi Dasi Mataji, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Raj from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for joining every day and your very beautiful association and services. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody else who would like to?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. This is Ananya Karya.
Hare Krishna, Ananya Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Devi Dasi Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much for joining everyday Mataji and your beautiful services to the Bhakti Sangha Japa group. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is Ashtasaki Devi Dasi joining from North Carolina. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ashtasaki Devi Dasi Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yasamati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam, Radhabhava Beta. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your beautiful association and chanting every day. Hare Krishna. So before we start, I would like to read the Srila Prabhupada's quote, today's quote. The more people materialistic, the world will be burdened. Therefore, there must be war, pestilence, famine to clear these rascals, clear out. Vrindavan, September 22, 1976. So today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Radhabhava Devi Dasi Mataji on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, Chapter 12, verses 105-121. Thank you very much, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. Now I hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone on this platform of Bhakti Sangha. Are you able to hear me, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
I want to thank everyone on this platform of Bhakti Sangha for kindly giving me this opportunity to serve Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'm very grateful to Priti Vilasani Mataji and Kirtida Sundari Mataji. I must admit today that I'm a novice in Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is my first session ever. So if I make any mistakes, please forgive me and feel free to correct me and comment on whatever I speak today. I have all great stalwarts here like Iktida Sundari Mataji, Priti Vilasani Mataji, and many more who I'm not able to acknowledge, but I am acknowledging, not by their name, but I am acknowledging everyone here. Please accept my humble obeisances. With this, let us start our session. Om Adhyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Thapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Lagunatan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. So today I was given the verses, text 105 to text 121. So we will try to cover these. So we are reading Chaitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, chapter 12, and we are on text 105. Nagare asiya kare vividha vilas, sambara sahita kore hasiya sambhas. Nimai enjoyed various pastimes in the city and smiled as he talked with the residents. So here we are seeing that Nimai is wandering through Navadvip. And as he's wandering through Navadvip, he's coming across different devotees. He's coming across different people and he's interacting with them. And he's asking them for whatever is best they can offer for him. Text 106. Yadyapi prabhura kaha तत्व नाही जाने, तथापि साध्व सकोरे, देखी सर्व जाने. Although no one knew his real identity, the residents still offered him respects whenever they saw him. So wherever Nimai went, they didn't know his real identity. They didn't know that he was Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Supreme Personality of Godhead, the incarnation of Radha and Krishna combined. But he was so effulgent and so beautiful that he attracted respect from everyone who he came across. Text 107. Nagare Brahmana Kare Shri Shachi Nandan Devera Durlabha Vastu Dekhe Sarvajan. This is a very beautiful verse. Although Sri Shachinandan is rarely seen even by the demigods, he now wandered through the streets of Navadvip within the sight of all. Let's read purport. The purport is Sri Gauranga Sundar is not perceivable even by the demigods. The demigods who reside in heaven are the best of the living entities under the three modes of material nature. Their advanced position is within the jurisdiction of temporary time and temporary existence. That is, it is not eternal. Since the absolute truth, Gaura Krishna, is not visible even to the demigods, he is rarely attained. By his unlimited causeless mercy, he manifests himself only before the most fortunate souls. So all these people who were able to take his darshan were one of the most fortunate souls. Such persons who do not defy him by considering him a material object, but unfortunate persons do not see him in this way. Their perception of the Lord is hindered by simply mundane conceptions. Therefore, they achieve only some piety while seeing the Lord. So people who are most unfortunate will not gain much from Krishna. By seeing Nimai, they didn't gain much. But people who were fortunate, they were able to gain a lot of pious credits. Not only that, they were able to give themselves completely to Krishna. We all know the very nice example of how Krishna is not very easily approachable. He is not visible to everybody. Just like it is mentioned here that Sri Shachinandan is rarely seen even by the demigods. We know about the situation when the world was overburdened with demons, and Bhumi Devi, she went as a cow to Brahmaji and she wept and she wanted to invoke Lord Vishnu's compassion and she begged Brahmaji to help. And then Lord Brahma decided to go along with all the demigods headed by Lord Shiva. They decided to go to the abode of Vishnu, the planet of Shwetasarup, planet where there's ocean of milk. And they all went there and stood on the banks of the ocean of milk. And there we all know that the demigods prayed and they chanted the Purusha Shukta prayers. And they apparently heard no response from Lord Vishnu. And then Brahmaji personally then in the end sat in meditation. And then there was a message transmission to Lord Brahma's heart from Vishnu to Lord Brahma. So here in this situation also, Lord Krishna was not visible even to the demigods and nor even to Lord Brahma. He sent a message transmission in Lord Brahma's heart. And then Lord Brahma broadcast this message to the demigods, which then, said that all the demigods have to take birth in the planet of Earth with all their associates. So this is one of the examples we see where Lord is not very easily visible. Another example is given in the Kunti Stuti. Mother Kunti, Srimati Kunti, is saying this very beautiful prayer in Srimad-Bhagavatam. It goes like this. It's Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Antarbahir Avasthitam. What does this prayer mean? It means, Srimati Kunti Maharani said, O Krishna, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because You are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without, yet you are invisible to all. So this is another example we come across where Lord Krishna is not very easily visible to everyone. And another example we come across is in Srimad-Bhagavatam in 12th Canto, 12.4.33. There, in that verse, it goes like this. Ghano yadarka prabhavo vidiryate chakshu swarupam ravim ikshate tada yada yankara upadhir atmano jidnyasayanas yatitar anusmaret. So what does this mean? The translation for this verse is that when the cloud originally produced from the sun is torn apart, the eyes can see the actual form of the sun. Similarly, when the spirit soul destroys his material covering of false ego by inquiring into the transcendental science, he regains his original spiritual awareness. So just a little quick explanation about this verse would be, just as the sun can burn away the clouds that prevent one from seeing the sun, the Supreme Lord, and he alone can remove the false ego that prevents one from seeing him. And then, there are some creatures we know, like owls, who are very averse to seeing the sun. So they are never ever able to see the sun because they are always awake at night. So in the same way, those who are not interested in spiritual knowledge will never receive the privilege of seeing God. So these are some of the examples we come across where it is very difficult to see God. So Shachinandan is actually invisible to even demigods, but by his causeless mercy to his true sincere devotees, he is able to take them in their pastimes and give his darshan. Text 108. Uthilena Prabhu Tantu Vaira Duyare Dekhiya Sambhrame Tantu Vaya Namaskare. One day, the Lord went to the house of a weaver. The weaver. Can we unmute? One day, sorry, mute. There is disturbance here. One day, the Lord went to the house of a weaver, and the weaver respectfully offered him obeisances. In the word tantu vaya, tantu means thread, and vaya comes from the verb which means weaving. Therefore, the word tantu vaya, or in common language tanti, refers to those who weave cloth from thread. So now I'm reading the purport here. The word duyara in the phrase tantu vayara duyar is a corruption of Sanskrit word dwara or door. The portion of Vaman, Hukura village, that is even today known as Tantipada, was inhabited at that time by cloth weavers. The late Kanti Chandra Radhi and his grandson Phani Bhushan have identified themselves as belonging to the family of cloth weavers from the time of Mahaprabhu. Though they have tried to re-establish their residence at Ramachandrapura and Bharagora Ghat, they in fact have no connection with the cloth weavers of Navadvip at the time of Mahaprabhu. Though the descendants of the bell metal traders of ancient Navadvip live in Kulia even today, they nevertheless go to worship goddess Shashti by worshipping the ancient Simantini Devi near Vamanapur at the place now known as Khalsepada. Therefore, ancient Navadvip cannot be located at the present day places of Baragora Ghat, Ramchandrapura and Satakulia. The weaving communities of Baragora Ghat and Kulia can never be the same as the ancient weaving communities from the time of the Lord. The weaving communities from the time of the Lord are not opposed to the Lord even today, but some members of the weaving communities of Kulia take advantage of the Lord while putting forward useless arguments to establish Shakta philosophy. Text 109. Bala vastra ana prabhu bolye vachana tantuvaya vastrani lese kshana. The Lord said, bring one nice piece of cloth, and the weaver immediately brought some cloth. Prabhu bole ei vastrera ki mulya lae tantuvaya bole tumi apne ye diba. The Lord then asked, what is the price of this cloth? The weaver replied, give me whatever you like. After settling the price, so text 111. Mulya kari bole Prabhu ebe khade nae tanti bole dashe prakshe diyo ye gosai. After settling the price, the Lord said, I don't have any money right now. The weaver then said, oh Gosai, you can give it to me in 10 to 15 days. Text 112. Vastraliya para tumi parama santoshe pache tumi khadi more diyo samaveshe. Take the cloth and happily wear it. You can pay me whenever you please. Text 113. Tantuvaya prati prabhu shubha drishti kori uthale nagiya prabhu goyalara puri. After mercifully glancing at the weaver, the Lord continued to the house of a cowherd boy. The word Puri refers to a house, a village, or a city. The phrase Goya Lara Puri refers to a portion of the present-day Swarup Ganja or Gadi Gacha and Mahesha Ganja. Text 114. Vasilena Mahaprabhu Gopera Duyare Brahmana Sambandhe Prabhu Parihasa Kore. Mahaprabhu sat down on his veranda and began to make fun of the activities of the Brahman. Text 115. Prabhu bole are beta dadi dugda ana aji tora gharera laimu mahatana. The Lord said, oh son, bring me some milk and yogurt. Today, I'm going to accept charity from your house. So these are the various people and pastimes our dear little Nimai was performing in Navadvip. And our acharyas, they actually reveal that these people were the most fortunate souls. That these intimate loving pastimes were not only being revealed to them, but they were given entrance into these intimate pastimes. The weavers, then we spoke about he's going to the cowherd boy's home, and he's sitting on the veranda of the Brahmana and joking. So these are very special pastimes. They are not ordinary pastimes. And Nimai's mischief was only for one purpose. In the ultimate sweetest way, it was to capture the hearts and the love of these people. And that is what he is doing here time after again, going from one person to another, the perfume maker, the astrologer, the weaver. He's going to the cowherd boy's home. And by understanding how Nimai, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to understand that he's Supreme Personality of Godhead, and understanding the nature of these transcendental pastimes, we must realize that these pastimes are not from this material world. We see so many times that the children of this world charm our heart with their sweet little activities. But here in Chaitanya Bhagavat, our dear Nimai is none other than Atma Ram himself, the totally self-satisfied Rasaraj. He is simply sharing the infinite sweetness of his love with his devotees. And through these apparently ordinary childlike pastimes in Navadvip, he is enchanting the hearts of all the pious people who deserved his attention because of their pious credits from previous life. And by hearing these wonderful narrations, the greatest scholars, the greatest ascetics, the most self-realized, the most enlightened grahastas or sannyasis, throughout the history have worshipped these pastimes of Nimai and tasted them again and again and again and relished them. And they have nourished their bhakti. And due to the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to bathe in the Ganga of these beautiful narrations, which eventually should melt our hearts. Hari means one who steals. The beautiful names, the forms, the qualities, and the pastimes of Nimai steal away from us. What do they steal away? They steal away all inauspiciousness, all ego, envy, lust, greed, anger, and illusion from us. By hearing these pastimes sincerely and understanding the philosophy behind them, the nature of bhakti or devotion, the prem in our heart will arise, will awaken. Now, we also must understand that the childhood pastimes of Nimai are absolutely non-different from the pastimes of our dear Krishna in Vrindavan. In Krishna Lila also, you will find that Krishna is asking for yogurt and butter from the house of all the gopis. He goes from door to door. And when they don't give, what does he do? He steals. So in Krishna Lila also, he is stealing butter not only from his own house, he's stealing from all the houses in Vrindavan, all the gopis. He's breaking the butter pots, he's stealing the yogurt, he along with all his friends. So Krishna as a little boy could do all these things. So when he's acting in this way, like a little butter thief, this is again simply to give pleasure to his devotees and to attract the hearts of this world. These pastimes attract the heart of pious people. We all have our free will and we are open to opening our minds to be attracted to Krishna's pastimes. Are we open? Yes. Because we are open to hearing about Krishna's pastimes, we will eventually get attracted to these pastimes, hearing them again and again and again. And we all know that the ultimate power of God is his beauty, his love, and his sweetness. And it is infinitely greater. All these things are infinitely greater than all the power he has, the Virat Roop. Which one is more sweeter? The Krishna stealing butter, Nimai roaming around in Navadvip, or the Virat Roop? Isn't it the Lord's beauty, love, sweetness, and his pastimes? They are so much more sweet. Everyone loves to listen to his pastimes. So, because he's Rasa Vihari. He's Rasa Bihari. His ultimate purpose in this world is to enjoy loving relationships with his devotees. And we should be conquered by the love of Krishna, and Krishna is eventually willing to be conquered by the love of his devotees. Now, as I was reading this Caitanya Bhagavat, few things came to my mind. I came across some parallels how Nimai is wandering in Navadvip, and how Krishna and Balram also, when they left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, how they were also going from house to house, from person to person, asking from them what they could offer best. So this pastime of Nimai parallels Krishna's wandering in Mathura. So when Krishna and Balaram, they go to Mathura from Vrindavan, Krishna mainly goes to 3 people's home in Mathura: the weaver, the washerman, and the florist Sudama. Now in Srimad-Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 40 onwards, there's mention of the weaver in Mathura. And we all know that Krishna and Balaram, they approached this weaver, and then the weaver came forward and he felt so much affection for the lords, Krishna and Balaram, that what did he do? He nicely adorned their attire with cloth ornaments of various colors. Even though they made him wear the cloth, even their ornaments were made of cloth, and they looked just as real as actual ornaments. And Krishna and Balaram, they looked so resplendent in that unique, wonderful ornamented outfit that it is described in Srimad-Bhagavatam that they resembled a pair of young elephants. One was a white elephant and the other was a black elephant. And the elephants decorated for a festive occasion. So this wonderful weaver, he came forward and he decorated their body. And pleased with the weaver, just like Nimai was pleased with this weaver. Nimai didn't have any money. He just went to the weaver and he said, please give me some fine cloth. And the weaver gave it to him. But Nimai said, I don't have any money. So weaver said, no problem. You wear it. You enjoy it. You give me money if you have in few days. Similarly, here, pleased. So Nimai was pleased by the weaver. Similarly, Krishna was pleased with this weaver. And Lord Krishna blessed him that after death, he would achieve liberation to attain the form like the Lord himself. So this weaver went back to Godhead. Why? Because simply he pleased Krishna. He just gave Krishna what Krishna wanted, and he gave what he could give best. So there's a very beautiful story in Garga Samhita. It is stated in Garga Samhita that one day King Bahulashva, he asks Narad Muni that, oh dear Narad Muni, who was this weaver in his pious previous life? And who was he? He was so pious that he actually received the transcendental form like Krishna. Can you please explain? So Narad Muni said, yes, I surely will. And he said, there was a weaver in the city of Mithila. Mithila was the city of Janak Maharaj. And there he was a great devotee of the Lord. And he was an expert weaver even in Mithila. And Janak Maharaj ordered him to make fine garments for Lord Ram and Lakshman to wear on Lord Ram's wedding day. So we all know that Lord Ram, he went to Mithila, that is to Mother Sita's home, where Janak Maharaj got them married. So during their wedding, Janak Maharaj asked this same weaver who appeared in Krishna Leela, this weaver appeared in Ram Leela, and Janak Maharaj asked him to prepare Lord Ram and Lakshman's clothes for the wedding. When the weaver saw Ram and Lakshman, who are more handsome than millions of Kamadevs, the very sweet, noble-hearted weaver, he became enchanted with their beauty. And in his heart, he desired that I wish with my own hands I could make garments and place on their limbs. So this was his desire from Treta Yuga, which was allowed to be fulfilled in Dwapar Yuga. And the all-knowing Lord Ram, we know he can read the hearts of the devotees. So he read the heart of devotee of this pious weaver and blessed him that his desire would be soon fulfilled. And at the end of Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna would descend by the blessings of Lord Ram, he will take birth in Mathura city, and personally he would be able to make Lord Krishna and Balaram wear garments with his own hands. And after that, he attained Swarupa Siddhi. And now this same weaver's pastime took place in Gaur Leela. I'm just making parallels. In Treta Yuga, the weaver had a desire to serve Lord Ram, which was fulfilled again in Dwapar Yuga. And here again we see Nimai is going to the house of the weaver and he's asking for cloth. And the weaver has been kind enough to give the cloth to Nimai. So this is a very nice parallel I thought of, which is also mentioned in Garga Samhita. Then just like Nimai is wandering house to house, person to person, again Krishna Balaram also wandered in Mathura to other people. And some of the other people was the royal washermen. I'm sure you all know about it. But again, hearing these pastimes and relishing them again and again will purify us. So I will mention this pastime of the royal washermen. So once Krishna and Balaram approached the royal washerman who was dyeing some clothes, and he was washing them and he was preparing them for the king Kamsa. And Krishna asked him that, can you please give me some of your finest laundered garments? And Krishna said, if you do this, I will grant, do this as charity and you will be undoubtedly receiving the greatest benefit from me. But when Krishna asked this arrogant servant washerman of Kamsa, he became angry and he replied very insultingly to Krishna. He said, you impudent boys, you're accustomed to roaming in the mountains and forests, and yet you dare to put on such royal garments? Do you know they are king's possessions here and you're asking for King Kamsa's possessions? And not only that, he called them fools And he said, you get out of here quickly. And he was very insulting to Krishna and Balram. And then he said, someone who's as bold as you, who asks for the king's possessions, is arrested immediately and killed. And not only that, his property is also taken away. So he spoke very rudely to Krishna and Balram. So hearing this, Krishna became very angry. And then just with his fingertips, what did he do? He separated the washerman's head from his body and he beheaded him. And the washerman's assistants, they were very scared watching this scene. So they immediately dropped all the clothes and all the bundles of all the clothes they were carrying, and they fled away, they ran away. And Lord Krishna and Balram, they took all those clothes, they wore those clothes, and they distributed the rest of them to the cowherd boys, and they proceeded. Now, in Garga Samhita, King Bahulashva asked Narad Muni, who was this washerman in his previous life that he met such a fate? What is it that he had done to receive this fate? So Narad Muni said, in Lord Ram's kingdom in Treta Yuga, in Ayodhya, Lord Ram's spies, they overheard this same washerman in his previous life was telling his wife. One day his wife had come little late at night when it was little dark, when the sun had set. In previous days, women never went out after dark. So the washerman immediately chastised his wife. And he was the same washerman. He said, oh, you wife, I will not maintain you. A sinner that returns at dawn from another's house, I do not want you coming late. And he said, I am not Ramchandra, who's greedy to enjoy his wife after she comes staying in somebody else's house. And she may not continue staying in my house, like he's allowing Mother Sita. But I'm not like him. So these were the rumors that were going around in Ayodhya. And then hearing from many mouths that people were criticizing him, Lord Ram at once, he exiled our dear Mother Sita to the forest. So this is what the fate of the washerman was, because this is what he did in his previous life. He criticized Lord Ram, and that's why he was born as a washerman. He criticized Krishna and Balaram, and he got his due punishment. So sometimes it may feel cruel, but because we have done some impious deeds, we get punishment, maybe not in that life, but in the next life. So in due course of time, this person became the washerman in Mathura, and he met this ill fate. Now there's another incident where Krishna and Balaram are wandering in Mathura. Now here, this time they go to the house of Sudama. Now this is another Sudama. He's not the same Sudama friend. He's Sudama, the garland maker. When Sudama saw that Krishna and Balram were approaching him, he at once stood up and he bowed down, placing his head to the ground. He bowed down, offered obeisances to Krishna and Balaram. And he offered them nice seats, and he bathed their feet, and he worshipped them with garlands, pan, sandalwood paste. He offered an arti and many other presentations. And Sudama said, now that you have come here, my birth is now sanctified. He was so happy to see them. He said, my birth is sanctified. And he said, surely all my forefathers, all the demigods, all the great sages, they are certainly very satisfied with me. So, and then he told Krishna Balaram, please now you order me as your servant, whatever you wish. And whatever you tell me to be engaged in the service which you have told me to do is the greatest blessing for anyone. So please bless me by giving me some service. So Sudama could understand what Krishna and Balaram wanted. So Sudama was a florist. He used to make garlands every day for the Lord. So with great pleasure, whatever garlands he had made that day, he presented them to Krishna and Balaram. And they were nice, beautiful, fragrant, fresh, fragrant flowers, which he offered to Krishna with a lot of love and devotion. So Krishna and Balaram were very delighted to be adorned with these beautiful garlands. And the two Lord offered this very nice surrendered soul Sudama a benediction. And they told him, please ask for whatever you desire. And what did Sudama ask for? There's a very beautiful prayer in Srimad-Bhagavatam. it goes like this. Sopi vavre chalam bhaktim tasmin eva kilatmani tat bhakteshu cha sauhardam bhuteshu cha dayam param. So what does it mean? Sopi vavre chalam bhaktim. Sopi vavre means, Sopi vavre means he chose. Chalam bhaktim. So achalam means unshakable. Bhaktim means devotion. So he chose unshakable devotion to whom? Tasmin eva akhilatmani. Tasmin means to him. Eva means to him alone. Akhila means of everything. Atmani means the supreme soul. So he asked for unshakable devotion for Krishna, who is the supreme soul of all existence. And then what did he ask next? He asked, Tad bhakteshu cha sauhardam. Now, give me 1 second, Madhavi. I'm pulling up my notes. So Tat means towards his, and Bhakteshu means his devotees. Cha means Sauhardam or friendship. So he asked for friendship with his devotees. And Dayam means mercy, and Param is transcendental. So what did he ask for? He asked for 3 things. Sudama chose unshakable devotion for Krishna, who is the supreme soul of all existence. Then what did he ask for second? He asked for friendship with his devotees. And third, he asked for transcendental compassion for all living beings. So what a beautiful prayer Sudama asked for. So that was the benediction he asked for. So Krishna and Balram were so happy by his service that they granted Sudama the entire, all 3 benedictions they offered. Not only that, they also awarded him strength, they awarded him long life, they awarded him beauty, they awarded him fame and ever increasing prosperity for the family. So again here, Garga Samhita states that King Bahulashva again asked Narad Muni that what pious deeds had the florist done to perform, that Krishna and Balram came to his house and he was able to garland them. So this question is very important. King Bahulashva is constantly asking Narad Muni a lot of questions. And these questions are important because it gives pious or intelligent souls, even conditioned souls like us, an opportunity to discover the prerequisites for entering the spiritual world. So at every step, King Bahulashva is asking Narad Muni, why and how? So Narad Muni said, now again, this is a very beautiful story about this Sudama florist. In Kuvera's beautiful gardens, there was a florist named Hema Mali. And he was very peaceful. He was a very generous personality. And he was very devoted to Lord Vishnu. And he always associated with saintly people. And he worshipped Lord Shiva very devoutly. But he worshipped Lord Shiva for a reason. He worshipped Lord Shiva to attain the company of Lord Krishna. Isn't that so wonderful? So what did he do? For 5,000 years, he daily took 300 lotus flowers. Can you imagine? Every day, 300 lotus flowers. We think of offering on Janmashtami 108 lotuses to Krishna, on Radhashtami 100 lotus to Radharani. But here, he was offering every day 300 lotus flowers to Lord Shiva. And every day he would go down and bow down and circumambulate Lord Shiva, and he would pray. And he had only one prayer, that he wanted to attain the company of Lord Shiva. And we all know that Lord Shiva is an ocean of mercy, and he was very pleased by his service. And one day Lord Shiva asked him, "Oh, intelligent florist, you can ask me for a boon." So we all also know that Lord Shiva is called Ashutosh. Why? Because he's very easily pleased. So he was very easily pleased by the simple offering of lotus flowers and sincerity of coming every day, bowing down before him and asking for the same well-intended benediction every day. Hema Mali knew how to please this great personality, Lord Shiva. But he was at the same time very intelligent enough not to ask for material benedictions. He was not asking for anything material. He was going to Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He was going to the greatest Vaishnav and he was asking for Krishna. So he was pleased. Lord Shiva was pleased. And with folded hands, bowing down before him, before Lord Shiva, circumambulating him, Hema Mali asked Lord Shiva, may I be able to enter, may I be able to see with my own eyes and enter into the pastimes of this perfect supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, and may he be able to enter my home. And then Lord Shiva was pleased and he said, oh noble-hearted Hema Mali, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, they're saying end of Dwapar Yuga because it was at the end of Dwapar Yuga that Krishna and Balram went to Mathura, not beginning. And at the end of Dwapar Yuga, in the city of Mathura, your desire will be fulfilled. And then Hema Mali was born as a florist in Mathura as Sudama. So to keep Lord Shiva's promise, Krishna and Balaram entered Sudama's home. So isn't that wonderful? When a great devotee like Lord Shiva makes a promise, Lord Krishna personally proves it true. So we can all similarly pray to Gopeshwar Mahadev to grant us entrance and residence into Vrindavan. And maybe Lord Krishna will find it hard to refuse his request, if not ours. So in Srimad-Bhagavatam, we can clearly see it has been described that Lord Krishna's dealings, how Krishna dealt with the nasty washerman and how he dealt with the devoted weaver and the florist Sudama. And the Lord is as hard as a thunderbolt with those who defy him, and he's as soft as a rose for those who are surrendered to him. Therefore, we should sincerely surrender to Lord Krishna, since clearly that is in our own interest. So it is very nice to offer whatever is our potential. Here we see in pastimes of Nimai, everybody is offering what they can give best. And the weaver offered the cloth, the Sudama florist offered flowers. We also know Sudama Vipra offered whatever little chipped rice he had. Gajendra offered a lotus. So we, in our capacity, with whatever we are best at, we should try and offer Krishna to the best of our ability and capacity. So with this, I will end today's discussion. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, glories to Prabhupada. Such a beautiful class. Thank you for narrating such beautiful pastimes and drawing parallels from Rama Leela and the Krishna Leela. Thank you so much, Mataji. It was really nice. So all this you were reading from Garga Samhita, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a beautiful, beautiful class. Always your class is filled with stories. You make easy, Mataji. Krishna consciousness is very easy to understand Krishna. We don't need to know a lot of philosophy. Just listen to the sweet pastimes and understand the greatness of Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. But I missed one point. You were talking about owls. They were not seeing the sun. So for them, how they get the mercy? You were trying to correct something. I missed that point. Can you repeat again, Mataji?
So whenever there is darkness, you cannot see the sun. So those people remain in ignorance. Unless, there's causeless mercy upon them, it is hard for them to come to the mode of goodness. So unfortunately, owls, they never get to see the sun. This is just an example to show that when there is ignorance, it is hard to remove the material coverings of our soul. But when there is the sunshine of goodwill, goodness, vidya, where we want to achieve the Lord, then in that case, Krishna will intervene and take care of it.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for beautiful analogy. Hare Krishna. So we open forum for question and answer. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Please ask only the questions related to the class, not any personal questions. Mataji, please go ahead. Priti Vilasani Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Radhabhava Mataji. Thank you so much. It was such a beautiful, beautiful class with all these lovely pastimes. It was actually a nice meditation. So thank you so much. I love the prayers, or rather the benedictions asked by Sudhama. And I believe there are, I don't remember the names, but a couple of others in Bhagavatam who asked for similar benedictions. So it's such a beautiful thing for us to absorb and meditate on and imbibe in our lives. So thank you so much for telling these stories and helping us connect with it. Thank you, Mataji. Very grateful for your association. Your class is very sweet. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is there anybody having any questions? If there are no questions, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Radhabhava Mataji ki jai.
Ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. I think everyone is muted, Mataji.
Oh, that's why they couldn't ask questions?
No, I asked to raise hand, Mataji.
Okay.
Okay, now, is there anybody having any question? Yeah, I gave co-host to Mataji also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Vinita Gandharika Mataji.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. It was a very wonderful and sweet class. And you talk about all the pastimes, whatever Krishna and Sudama, Krishna and Balram did, and whatever you talk about the story of the Hemamali gardener. So it was Sudama, how he was doing. So by this only I want to tell that always we have to offer Krishna whatever we have, and we have to always surrender to him. Then everything will be good in our life. So Mataji is very, very nice class. And thank you very much, Mataji, for your very enlightening class today. And we are very, very grateful to you. And we look forward to your association again in future. And if nobody have any question, we can close the call, Mataji, if your permission is there.
Yes, Mataji, we can surely close the call. Okay. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Caitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Radhabhava Mataji ki jai.
Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining today's class. We'll close the call for today.